Adesso non ci faccio vedere la un nuovo episod. Un episod de azi este ziua 133. Ziua noastră cu Darina. Azi au fost prima zi de școală. Bă, azi o să mâncăm și o să reacționăm. Nu cred că am chef să mă joc cu rochile neapărat. Stați să ascund și eu controlerul ăsta. Bă, Darina începe ca să joace Minecraft pe YouTube. Și mie nu vine să cred așa ceva. Știți de ce zic eu asta? Pentru că eu aveam la trecut, știam ce... Offline? De ce sunt offline? Ciudat. Să nu uităm pe YouTube și mâncă merge niște copii. Bun. Ha, vreau să deschid din nou. Ce avea, mă? Ce avea? Ce are, mă? Când nu merge. Hmm. Iar sunt de crash. Hmm. Bă, ce avea, mă, ce avea? Ia stai puțin. Merge YouTube, nu? Right? Da, mă, merge. Și ce are, mă? Hai să uităm.
SpongeBob SquarePants might be one of the most cheerful, absurd, and downright goofy shows ever made.
Good one, Pat!
But underneath all the jellyfishing and bubble blowing, there's a darker side that most people forget. For every episode about friendship or flipping Krabby Patties, there's another one that quietly scarred an entire generation of kids. Whether it's psychological horror, body horror, or just plain emotional trauma, SpongeBob has delivered some truly terrifying moments over the years, often when we least expected it. In this video, we're diving deep into the most terrifying episode in every SpongeBob season. But before we continue the video, make sure to like the video. You know what's crazy? Everyone remembers Rock Bottom from season 1 as that weird episode where SpongeBob gets lost and fish talk funny. But honestly, when you actually watch what happens to our yellow buddy, this episode is straight up traumatic. Picture this, you're having the best day ever at an amusement park with your best friend. SpongeBob and Patrick just spent the whole day at Glove World. They're happy, they're laughing, everything's perfect. Then, boom, wrong bus. One stupid mistake, and suddenly SpongeBob's entire world falls apart. The thing that gets me is how quickly everything goes from fun to absolute disaster. That bus ride down the cliff is terrifying. SpongeBob and Patrick are literally screaming as they plummet into this dark alien world. And when they land in Rock Bottom, you can see the panic in SpongeBob's eyes. This place looks like the opposite of everything he knows. It's dark, weird, and full of strange, deep-sea creatures that talk in a way he can't understand. But here's where it gets really sad. Patrick Patrick, his best friend in the world, just leaves him. I know it was an accident, but imagine being SpongeBob in that
Avem
moment. He's
cioccolato?
already scared and confused, and then the one person who could help you literally drives away. The way SpongeBob chases after that bus, running until he can't breathe, calling Patrick's name, that's pure desperation right there. What makes this episode so brutal is watching SpongeBob's hope slowly die. At first, he's optimistic. I'll just wait for the next bus, he thinks. Easy, right? Wrong. The universe decides to torture this poor guy. Every single time he tries to do something normal, tie his shoe, get a snack, anything, a bus shows up and leaves without him. That candy machine scene is psychological torture. SpongeBob's starving, he just wants one piece of candy, but every time he reaches for it, a bus appears. It's like the world is playing this sick game with him. When another fish steals his candy after all that struggle, you can see something break inside SpongeBob. The bus station scene hits even harder. SpongeBob waits in line for hours.
Din cauza
He's
școli este.
329th in line. Can you imagine standing there watching hundreds of people go before you, knowing you just want to go home? And when he finally gets to the front, when he finally thinks he's made it, the bus leaves literally 5 seconds early. 5 seconds. But the real gut punch comes when the lights go out. SpongeBob's trying so hard to stay positive, making jokes about being alone in the dark. Then his glove light dies and suddenly he's facing what he calls advanced darkness. That line became a meme, but think about what it really means. When SpongeBob starts hearing those raspberry sounds in the darkness, he completely loses it. He goes from walking to running to sprinting, pure panic taking over. This cheerful, optimistic sponge who always sees the best in everything is now terrified and alone, running blindly through a place that feels like another planet. The really messed up part? None of this had to happen. If SpongeBob and Patrick had just paid attention to where they were going, if the bus driver had been more helpful, if Patrick had waited just a few more minutes, any of these tiny changes would have prevented this nightmare. Instead, SpongeBob suffers for hours because of one small mistake. What gets me most is how the episode shows loneliness in such a real way. SpongeBob mentions feeding Gary. He's worried about his pet snail waiting at home. He thinks about his normal life, his routine, all the simple things he takes for granted. Rockbottom strips all of that away and forces him to face his worst fear, being completely alone and helpless. The ending tries to be happy with the anglerfish helping him fly home, but think about the trauma SpongeBob just went through. He spent an entire day and night lost, scared, hungry, and abandoned. That changes a person. Sure, he gets home safely, but what about the emotional scars? And Patrick? He's riding another bus back to rock bottom at the end, thinking he's being a good friend. He has no idea what SpongeBob just survived. That's almost worse. Your best friend can't even comprehend the nightmare you just experienced. Rock Bottom shows us that sometimes it's about feeling lost and alone, about everything going wrong at once, about hope slowly draining away. SpongeBob's night in Rock Bottom is a masterclass in quiet desperation, wrapped up in a kid's cartoon that most people remember for raspberry sounds and weird fish. That's what makes this episode so powerful and so heartbreaking. Underneath all the silly voices and strange creatures, it's really about one of our worst nightmares, being completely alone in a place where nothing makes sense and nobody can help you. Rock Bottom shows how fear comes from being lost and alone, but Graveyard Shift proves it's worse when someone you trust is the one who scares you. Graveyard Shift. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Graveyard Shift from season 2 is actually one of the meanest things Squidward ever does to SpongeBob. Everyone remembers it as that spooky episode with the hash-slinging slasher, but they're missing the real story here. SpongeBob starts the episode absolutely loving life. Mr. Krabs just announced the Krusty Krab is open 24 hours, and while Squidward is miserable, SpongeBob is absolutely thrilled. He's singing his little heart out, doing his job with pure joy, cleaning everything at night like it's the most exciting thing in the world. This guy finds happiness in the smallest things, and working the night shift is like a dream come true for him. Then Squidward ruins everything. When SpongeBob shows just a tiny bit of nervousness about taking out the trash in the dark, Squidward sees an opportunity to mess with SpongeBob's head for his own entertainment, and
Vai. Bom.
Ma capito, questi sapete la macchina che ci mangia qua.
Uhum.
That's exactly what he does. The hash-slinging slasher story is mental torture. Squidward makes up this tale just to scare SpongeBob on purpose. He watches SpongeBob's face, sees the fear building, and keeps going. When SpongeBob tries to guess what the slasher did wrong, forgot the sauce, didn't wash his hands, Squidward keeps saying no, dragging out the suspense until he delivers the brutal punchline about cutting off his hand. But here's what makes it really cruel. Squidward doesn't stop there. He adds all these horrible details about getting hit by a bus, being fired at his own funeral, and coming back for revenge. Then he describes exactly how the ghost will kill them, step by step, watching SpongeBob fall apart with each word. The saddest thing, SpongeBob screams for 20 straight seconds. 20 seconds of pure terror from a guy who was just happy to be working, and Squidward laughs the entire time. He thinks it's hilarious that he just traumatized someone who trusts him. When Squidward finally admits it was a joke, SpongeBob tries to bounce back like always, but the damage is done. You can see it in how he reacts later when the signs start happening. That innocent joy he had about the night shift, gone. Now he's constantly looking over his shoulder, waiting for something horrible to happen, and then karma hits hard. When the lights start flickering, Squidward thinks SpongeBob is trying to get revenge by pranking him, but when he realizes nobody's touching the switch, panic sets in. The phone rings with silence. The walls ooze slime. Everything from his made-up story starts coming true, and suddenly Squidward is the one falling apart. The bus scene is pure terror for both of them. When that shadowy figure steps off with what looks like a spatula, Squidward completely loses it. Hair grows from his head as he screams, and SpongeBob starts crying. Not just from fear, but because he thinks Squidward cares enough about him to dress up and entertain him. Even in his terror, SpongeBob still believes the best about people. When they think they're about to die, both characters reveal their deepest truths. Squidward admits he's always sort of liked SpongeBob, the closest thing to an apology we'll ever get. And SpongeBob, he confesses to using Squidward's clarinet to unclog his toilet. Think about that. Facing death, SpongeBob's biggest guilt is about a harmless prank. The episode tries to end on a happy note when the slasher turns out to be just a guy looking for a job. Everyone laughs about Nosferatu messing with the lights, but the emotional damage is already done. Squidward deliberately destroyed SpongeBob's happiness and then suffered the consequences of his own cruelty. Looking at this episode, what makes it so sad is how Squidward treats SpongeBob. SpongeBob looks up to Squidward, trusts him, wants his approval, and Squidward uses that trust to hurt him for fun. He takes SpongeBob's vulnerability and turns it against him for entertainment. Here's the thing that gets me. This happens everywhere. Someone you think is your friend tells you something that scares you, then laughs when you believe them. They call it just a joke when you get upset, like your feelings don't matter. But the fear they planted in your head doesn't just disappear. SpongeBob started that night excited about spending hours working with Squidward. He thought it would be like a sleepover. Instead, he learned how mean people can be when they're bored and angry with their own lives. The episode is funny because we're watching cartoon characters doing silly things, but take away the animation and you've got a story about someone being mean at work, hurting someone's feelings on purpose, and how fear can ruin even the happiest moments. SpongeBob never deserved to have his joy taken away like that, and Squidward, he learned firsthand that the fear you spread has a way of coming back to haunt you. The saddest thing about Graveyard Shift is watching someone's pure happiness get crushed by someone they trusted. That's real horror right there. Graveyard Shift shows how Squidward uses fear to crush SpongeBob's joy, but in SpongeBob Meets the Strangler, it's SpongeBob who becomes the one quietly doing the crushing. On the surface, it looks like a simple episode where SpongeBob accidentally hires a serial killer as his bodyguard. But dig deeper, and you'll find one of the most twisted examples of mind games in cartoon history. The setup seems normal enough. SpongeBob's doing his job, cleaning up litter when some guy starts throwing trash everywhere. SpongeBob calls the cops like any good citizen would, then Squidward drops the bomb. This is the Tattletale Strangler, a guy who literally murders people for snitching on him. Most people would run and hide, but SpongeBob, he hires the guy as his bodyguard. Now, here's where it gets really messed up. The show wants you to think SpongeBob is too dumb to realize his bodyguard is actually the Strangler in a fake mustache. But watch closely and you'll see SpongeBob is playing the most twisted game of psychological torture ever put in a kid's cartoon. First, SpongeBob drags the Strangler on the worst shopping trip ever. They spend hours at the grocery store while SpongeBob debates which paper towels to buy. Then it's off to the dry cleaner where SpongeBob suddenly can't remember if those are his pants. Next stop, the perfume store, where SpongeBob makes the Strangler smell different fragrances. The Strangler is getting more and more frustrated, and SpongeBob knows it. Every time the guy tries to hurry things along, SpongeBob finds another excuse to waste time. The poor criminal just wants to get somewhere private so he can do his murdering, but SpongeBob keeps him trapped in public spaces with witnesses everywhere. Then comes the house key situation, and this is where things get really dark. SpongeBob spends 20 minutes pretending he can't find his key while the Strangler steams with rage. But the second they need to get inside, SpongeBob casually mentions the spare key under the mat. He knew it was there the whole time. He was torturing this guy on purpose. But SpongeBob's not done yet. When the Strangler suggests climbing through the window, SpongeBob puts on spiky cleats and literally steps on the man's eyeballs for 6 hours. Think about that. 6 hours of metal spikes grinding into someone's corneas while SpongeBob pretends it's an accident. That's not clumsiness, that's sadistic. The parties are the real masterpiece though. SpongeBob somehow managed to invite everyone in town to multiple surprise parties at his house. You don't accidentally send out invitations for your own surprise party. He planned this whole thing knowing the Strangler would be trapped there with dozens of witnesses, unable to do anything but sit in a chair and watch his victims celebrate. Every time the Strangler thinks he finally has SpongeBob alone, another crowd shows up. The guy's mental state is completely falling apart while SpongeBob acts like everything is perfectly normal. When Patrick shows up and SpongeBob suggests he might be the Strangler, Patrick actually believes it and turns himself in. Even SpongeBob's best friend is more self-aware than this supposedly innocent sponge. The chase scene at the end reveals just how calculated everything was. SpongeBob follows the Strangler everywhere, in taxis, on planes, even when the guy jumps out with a parachute. The most chilling moment comes when the Strangler finally breaks down and reveals his true identity. SpongeBob acts shocked, but think about it. He just spent an entire day systematically destroying this criminal's sanity. He turned a dangerous killer into a crying mess who voluntarily throws himself in jail just to get away from him. The episode ends with the Strangler in prison thinking he's finally safe, only to discover Patrick is his cellmate. Even behind bars, SpongeBob's influence is still torturing this guy. The last thing we hear is Patrick asking what the Strangler is in for, and you can see the man's soul completely give up. What makes this episode truly scary is realizing that SpongeBob is way smarter and more manipulative than anyone thinks. He takes a serial killer and breaks him mentally using nothing but fake cheerfulness and perfectly timed annoyances. The Strangler is supposed to be the monster in this story, but SpongeBob turns him into a victim through pure psychological warfare. He never gets violent, never loses his temper, never drops his innocent act. He just smiles and slowly drives a grown man insane. This episode shows us that SpongeBob's greatest weapon, his ability to make people underestimate him while he completely destroys their minds. The scariest part? He does it all while maintaining his reputation as the nicest guy in Bikini Bottom. The real horror of SpongeBob meets the Strangler is that SpongeBob was the killer all along, the kind that uses weapons. SpongeBob meets the Strangler turns SpongeBob into a silent manipulator who mentally breaks a killer. But SquidBob Tentacle Pants goes even darker by turning friendship itself into a grotesque, flesh-melting nightmare. SquidBob Tentacle Pants from Season 4 is straight-up body horror. This episode takes the innocent concept of teleportation and turns it into something that belongs in a David Cronenberg movie. What we get is 11 minutes of pure nightmare that somehow made it past Nickelodeon censors. Squidward's having this dream where he's finally a famous clarinet player, getting all the applause he's ever wanted. Then his alarm goes off and reality hits. Another day at the Krusty Krab. Then SpongeBob visits Sandy, who's built this fancy matter transporter that can move things instantly from one place to another. She demonstrates by zapping an apple onto Mrs. Puff's desk. Cool technology, right? Wrong. This machine is about to create an abomination. SpongeBob asks if the transporter can get him to work faster. Sandy agrees to test it on a living creature for the first time. Red flag number 1 right there, never be the first test subject for experimental technology. But SpongeBob hops in anyway because he's chronically late for work. The teleportation starts fine, but then disaster strikes. As SpongeBob materializes at the Krusty Krab, Squidward happens to be walking by. Part of Squidward's arm gets caught in SpongeBob's body during the transport. Then, Sandy's remote control goes crazy and zaps them both back to her lab. What emerges from that machine is pure horror. SpongeBob and Squidward are now one creature. SpongeBob's regular head sits where it should, but Squidward's head is sticking out of the upper left side of the body like some kind of parasitic twin. They share arms, but in the worst possible way. SpongeBob controls Squidward's hand while Squidward controls SpongeBob's hand. hand. They can't move without fighting each other. The visual is
Uhum.
absolutely
E
disturbing.
joia,
Two separate personalities
botar
trapped
mais
in one
boa
malformed
coisa.
body,
Ele
neither able
existe,
to escape.
efetivo.
Squidward's face
Mas
shows
ele
pure
existe.
terror and disgust at
Esta
being stuck to
tortura
SpongeBob
que ela
forever.
só
Meanwhile, SpongeBob thinks this is great
vai ter
because now they can be
traumatização
best
aí para
Rocket League's ranked 1v1 mode has caused the most smashed controllers, broken monitors, and thrown PCs. I don't know if that's actually true, but it definitely feels like it because this mode is one of the toughest to get good at in all of gaming. For comparison, GC3 and 2v2, which I achieved a while ago, represents the top 0.5% of Rocket League players, but only the top 0.3% can achieve GC1 and 1v1. Well, a couple months ago, I was just a few wins away from being a part of that 0.3% for the first time, but it came down to the last day of the season and I couldn't get it done. I didn't know if I would come that close again, but very recently that would change after one of the greatest rank sessions of my 4,300 hours in Rocket League. Going into this rank session, I was barely sitting at Champ 2, but this would actually be my first time. I challenged you guys to make me the hardest possible training packs of just one shot or one save, and the one that takes me the longest to complete wins $100, but nobody knows about that. I just told them that there's some sort of prize. I guess you could call that a surprise.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But as you're about to see, I don't remember the last time I was this frustrated making a video. Oh man, this is tough. I haven't hit the ball. Yeah, this one seems impossible. But let's see how difficult this starts off. All right, we've got our first training pack here from Ocelot. I don't know why he named it Tough Has Balls, but I guess that's what we're going with. And this is actually a goalie training pack. There's going to be a timer on the top right of the screen, but I'm going to be using like a stopwatch on my phone, so it might not be the most accurate, but the one on the screen is obviously going to be the most accurate here. I mean, this one shouldn't be too hard. I feel like I'm pretty good on defense, but without further ado, start the timer. Okay, I had to take my hand off the controller for a second to... Wait, let me pause it. Okay. I had about 6 seconds. I think I paused it a little late though, so it was maybe like 5 seconds. I'm sure that'll be beaten by some of the other trading packs, but let's move on to the next one. All right, this next pack is from my guy Lemon, longtime viewer of the channel, one of the homies, one of the mods, but he opted for another goalie training pack, so I gotta save this one as well. I just did that first try and I realized I forgot to set a timer on my phone. I'm pretty sure Ocelot's was faster because that one took me 2 attempts. This one, I did it first try. So that unfortunately means Lemon is eliminated from the challenge, but let's see if somebody can dethrone Ocelot. All right, guys, this next one is from Deveni. This one is actually our first shooting training pack. So the thing about this that I had to specify is if the shot was intended to be scored a certain way and I find a way around it and I still manage to score, it'll still count. So obviously there's different things you can change, like the timer, where the ball spawns, where the car spawns. He gave us a 1 second timer here, so it looks like there's probably not going to be a way for me to finesse this. I'm going to assume I need to do like some sort of half flip, catch the ball, and then I can kind of do whatever, but I'm going to start the timer and... Oh my god, what is this? Okay, well, he already, I'm pretty sure, has the longest time. Oh my god, what do I do here? I've never seen something like this. Oh boy. Oh, okay, I hit it there, but this is one of those where it's very easy to overthink because everything is just going so quickly. Oh, I see what's happening. The ball is flying towards me. If I hit revert, yeah, I can't really prevent that. Hey, well played, bro. This is a very creative one. Oh, okay, I got a catch right there. I just need to keep doing that. See, like, right, what is my car doing there? See, like, what? And maybe I want my car to bounce like this? The problem is, see, there we go. I want to do that more. Oh my god. Okay, I just have to, this is the easy part. I'm not even going to try to flick it. I don't want to risk crap. I probably should have unlimited boost on. That's something I didn't really consider. That is definitely by far the longest time we've had so far. I think that was just under 3 minutes. So we'll see if anybody can top that. All right, guys, this next one is from Frey. This one is also a goalie training pack. Now, based off of the 3 that we've done, it seems like the shooting pack is actually the play here because the goalie ones have been easier. But Frey did say in the Discord, good luck saving this one, so this might be the hardest goalie one we'll have to do yet. Okay, so for this one, we're actually spawning away from the goal. So this already makes it harder than the other ones. We're gonna have to do some sort of half flip, I imagine. It's probably gonna be some sort of like pixel perfect save, but I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer. How am I gonna get this? Okay, I need a really good half flip. Oh my god. And I know this one is possible because he did send a video for proof, which that's very important because if some of these seem impossible, if there's no proof, it's not going to be valid. Ah, dude, like that's about as close as I've been able to get so far. Also, my half flips are just cooked, so that doesn't help. I think right now we're about halfway to the 3-minute mark, so this could actually overtake the last one as the hardest training pack. Like, I can't even make contact with the ball. That's the first step right now. All right, guys, I think this officially has overtaken the longest time so far. I don't think I'm even close to finishing this one either. I'm not gonna lie to you. Come on, no, man. All right, guys, I paused the timer. So if it gets to around the 5-minute mark, I think we're a little bit over that right now. Then I'll also take a look at the video that they sent, if they sent me one, just to kind of see how they did it. Because if I'm doing something completely wrong, then obviously I'd be stuck on this forever. So we're in the Discord channel right now. This is the clip that was sent. So it's a half flip. Dude, oh my god. So the idea is there, right? Is he dashing? I can't tell if he's backwards dashing. He might be. This ball is like fully in, bro. Yo, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this at all. Holy crap, bro. Bro was not playing around with this one. Respect. If I actually need a backwards dash, I'm cooked because my muscle memory is not used to doing that and then immediately holding down my reverse. You see, like when I do the dash, I'm not moving. I think if I don't do a perfect speed flip and a perfect half flip, there's no chance. I mean, honestly, the first step to all of this is just getting a first hit on the ball. I can't even do that. Keep in mind, Frey is a KBM player. I feel like doing all these inputs might low-key be easier on KBM. The problem is I don't know how to speed flip on KBM. That's the thing that'll be holding me back. But my half flips on KBM are honestly 10 times better than on controller, which is kind of ironic. Bro, I've been sitting here for like 20 minutes now. I don't know what to do. I'm getting so triggered, bro. Like, I haven't hit the ball. Yo, let me know in the comments. How many of you guys actually think you can beat this pack right here when it comes to my half flips and speed flips? Like, I can't do them perfectly consistently, but that's what it takes. I'm gonna need some insanely miraculous run here. Okay, you know what, I think we're at about the 30-minute mark. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause this one. We're gonna come back to it and hopefully I'm able to beat all the other ones. If that is the case, this pack will be the winner. But if there's other packs like this, I'm gonna have to figure it out and find a way to actually complete them. So let's move on to the next one. Hopefully it isn't as torturous. All right, looks like I spoke way too soon because literally the next submission from Winter, he said, this took me 2 hours to do myself. Good luck. I'm so cooked. All right, so just like Phrase, this one is also a goalie submission. Hey, look, I was wrong about the goalie ones. It was looking like the shots might have been the harder ones to actually complete, but it might just be the safe. Okay, we're spawning by our goal, which is good. So thankfully, I don't think I have to do any like pixel perfect speed flip. Then again, he said it took him 2 hours, so I'm gonna start the timer. Let's see. Wait. Oh, so we have to hit the ball. Oh, wait, it's that easy? Okay, dang. Bro, I'm confused. Did he like mean to make it a shot? Let me double check here. Okay, so he sent a couple videos. You know what I just realized? Thankfully, I don't have to worry about this for the other training packs because they were all in, you know, standard maps. This is actually the non-standard map right here. So I'm actually going to try this again because I have a setting enabled where it just uses my free play map. That might be why that was so easy for me. Let's find out. Okay, so now we're on the map that we're supposed to use. I'm going to start the timer. Yeah, I can see now where the difficulty comes in. Holy crap. Okay, That makes so much more sense. Dude, that's gonna be so difficult. Oh my god. Nah, you got it, bro. Like, okay. I will say, I think I'm a little more confident about this one than Phrase. Just because there's, like, less movements that I need to make. I'm not even close at the moment. Oh, man. This is tough. You know, maybe I'm better off doing the... Like, how is this even... I mean, it is possible, but how? Like, I'm literally holding boost. Yeah, okay, look, I feel like that's the way, right? Because... No, I was actually right there. Okay, I just paused the timer because it's around the 5-minute mark. I'm gonna take a look at the videos he sent once again, just to see how he did it, because, I mean, I am completely lost here. He actually double jumped it. Wait, did he, like, dash forward or something? I think he dashed. Bro, this is just like Phrase, where you have to do some sort of dash. Okay, see, that makes sense. And he got there pretty quickly. Like, this ball... Okay, I mean, yeah, it was about, like, halfway in, I think. Okay, so with that in mind, let's try this again. I don't know how to dash forward. There's just, like, not enough time. Like, having to hit my reset button, I might need a claw. Oh, crap. Okay, wait, I got the dash there. Did my game just crash? Man, I got it, but I wasn't really that close. Oh. Dang, come on, baby. Let's freaking go. I don't know what the time was. You guys will see it on the screen. I think it was close to 8 minutes, but oh my god, I'm so glad I was able to get that one done. Frey is currently still the leader in terms of the time to beat, but these packs are getting more creative, man. Like, people are starting to use different maps, so I'm very nervous about these remaining ones, but let's see what we got. All right, the next training pack is from Explicity. He said, only took me like 15 minutes, but at least I have a chance. So that's good to hear that it only took him 15 minutes. Obviously, that doesn't mean it's going to take that long for me. It could take less. It could take more. I hope this doesn't take me too long. Okay, so we finally got another shooting pack. I think this is the second of, I think, 6 packs that we've done now. So I'm a little bit more confident when it comes to the shooting here. I am going to start the timer and... Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay. Hey, this is very creative. So, we can take our time. Thankfully, it's not like a pixel perfect thing, because I honestly scuffed up that half flip right there. Okay, well, yeah, it took us less than 15 minutes. That's pretty safe to say. So, unfortunately, Explicity, you have been eliminated from the $100, but I'm glad I got an easy one after those last 2. I mean, hopefully it stays that way. Let's find out. All right, guys, for our next submission, it's from Enzo B. This is another save training pack. Oh my goodness. So this is the first one where we're spawning like pretty high in the air. So this one's going to be interesting. I have a feeling it's going to take me at least 5 minutes, and I may have to look at the video that he sent to figure out how the heck I need to do this, but I'm going to start the timer now, and I don't even know where the ball... Okay, so the ball is there. I have a feeling I might need to do something in the air. If I fall all the way down, what if I do a backwards wave dash into a half flip? See, it's tough because as soon as you move your car at all, it's going to start moving. So I have to wait to the last possible. That might be the idea, though. I think if I cannot suck at half flipping, maybe that's how we do it. This is the thing. It's so easy to overthink these training packs because look at how many different options there are when I spawn in the air like this. I don't know when I'm supposed to go, right? My theory is it's another one of these dash ones. Because I feel like if you don't dash at all, you're losing some sort of speed you could have. All right, well, it's about the 5-minute mark, so I'm going to pause the timer right now. And we're going to see how exactly he was able to complete this. It looks like he's on the ground at first. So I don't know if he just changed it after the fact or what happened, but I guess we gotta wait for our car to land. Then okay, he just boosts and then does a speed flip, so he shows the part where he gets close, and there he's actually able to get it. I guess maybe this is easier than I thought. All right, I just resumed the timer, and yeah, I think I overthought it. That's the thing, bro. That's the thing. It's very easy. Yep, I actually hit the ball for the very first time. What if I dash forward? I think I tried this earlier. I don't know if it actually helps, though. If I can last second dash forward. Yes, just like that. Boom. As I said, even if I don't do it as intended, if I could just get it done, it counts. So maybe he did that on purpose to kind of help me out a little bit. But I think that one took about as long as Winter's, maybe a little bit less. Obviously, you guys will see the timer on the screen. But so far, Frey's is the only one I haven't been able to complete. If that keeps up, Frey is going to be the lucky winner of this $100. And I think we're about halfway done with these packs, as it helps. Finally, if you want, you can have the pack to continue. This is also going to be a goalie training pack. And we're back on the throwback stadium. Now, this is interesting. So we spawn on the cross. Oh, I forgot to start my timer. Okay. Do I want to fall off? I don't know if there's a way for me to get to this if I... Doesn't look like it. Ooh. Oh, there we go. I had to just like freaking spam my jump a little bit. Okay, so that one definitely did not make the cut for the $100, but it did make me have to think a little bit. It's definitely a lot easier than it looks, but let's move on to the next pack. Map. Now, a little bit of a fun fact here. I'm no stranger to speedrunning training packs. In fact, I actually competed in a speedrunning competition hosted by Lethamir, and a bunch of different content creators made training packs to complete. Shout out to Linkru, Waiton, and Thanovic, I believe, were the three that made the packs. Waiton specifically made a training pack on this map, so I'm very familiar with the tricks of this map. I don't know, you know, I'm gonna start the timer right now. Does he do something? I mean, he does something involving the pillar. Okay, this is honestly pretty calm. I should be able to just catch this guy. It's a little bit scary, but now we should be on the money. We just got to keep this guy up. And there we
Luciano. Și pâine și ceapă, sau, nu, pâine.
completed. Once again, this will qualify for the $100.
Și lingura.
But let's move on to the next one. I just got to show this message right here for this next one, because he said, all I need to say is good luck. So I'm actually pretty scared about this. It means it's going to be pretty difficult. Here's the thing, he did not send a video. Let's hope it is fairly beatable. I put in the code and even the name of the pack says good luck, bro. So this is gonna be a goalie training pack. We spawn on the side. I'm gonna start the timer and we just gotta make it back. This one is doable. The fact that I can even hit the ball is a very good sign. That is something... Ooh, I was actually worse off there. That's something that couldn't happen for Frey's training pack. Oh boy. What if I just keep speed flipping? Like, I'm not entirely... Ooh. Low-key, I felt closer when I just did multiple speed flips. So maybe... Ooh. Low-key, I felt closer when I just did multiple speed flips. So maybe... if I just do that... Because I don't actually know if it helps if you do that, but I'm just gonna do that. I think the toughest part is getting an angle to where I can actually hit it outward. That's the problem. Because I end up kind of facing parallel to the path of the ball. Yo, Hizo, appreciate the sub on YouTube. There we go. You are included in the video. If y'all want to be cool like Hizo, make sure to hit that sub button as well. Greatly appreciated. Something I just realized as well, since this person did not send a video, it low-key actually gives them an advantage, which I should have thought about, because obviously when it gets to the 5-minute mark, I allow myself to look at the video to see how they did it. He didn't send a video, so I have nothing to reference. I could only assume that this is kind of the right idea. I mean, I don't know what else I could really do. Maybe I gotta do another one of these dashes, bro, because I spawned slightly above the ground. Okay. And speed flip again. That's gonna make no difference there. Crap. I think trying to do a dash actually makes it worse. At this point, I started trying literally anything I could, like pre-flipping, zap dashing, and even jumping over and around the ball to try to hit it out. None of those worked, but eventually, 20 minutes in, this happened. Minutes in, this happened. Oh, man! That was actually our closest attempt yet, about 20 minutes into this. Oh, bro, it hit the post, the crossbar. I just needed it to hang on for a little bit longer. But yeah, if we can't get this within about the next 10 minutes or so, that means it's going to be up there with Frey's time. I'm going to have to figure this out. I really hope it doesn't come down to that because I'm gonna be honest, Frey seems a lot harder, but this one is definitely hard as well. Clearly. All right, guys, it's been over the 35-minute mark. I think we're actually at the 36-minute mark. So this would be the highest time so far, but I'm going to pause it right here. We have a few more packs we need to get to first to see if they're also going to be in that final mix. All right, guys, next pack is from Money Up. It's titled Tough Good Luck, and it's another goalie training pack. So I am absolutely scared for what I'm about to witness here, but this one is actually flying in the air this time. I'm going to start the timer now. Looks like I'm going to need to pull off a half flip. Okay, hold on. This one should be light work for the boys. If I can... Hold on now. Hold on now. This one should be light work for the boys. Let's go. Huge. That's a relief. I was praying this would not be another, like, 30-minute run, and it wasn't. It was actually under 30 seconds, so... I hit a save like this the other night. I'll show the clip right now. I can't. Yeah, no, I can't. Oh my god, I can. Wait, one more. So, safe to say, I'm kind of used to these kind of saves. All right, guys, I just realized I skipped somebody in the order here. This one right here was the last training pack we did, but we got to do Curious's. Now, he said, good luck, tough. Made it as hard as I can make it, I guess. Fingers crossed I win. Well, hey, good luck. We're going to hop into it right now, and we'll see if you win. All right, here we go, boys. It's another goalie submission. I'm going to start the timer right now, and it looks like this one is just... Huh? How do I do this one? What? Thank God he sent me proof. Because I'm literally holding boost. How could I go any faster here, bro? I'm just doing the same thing over and over again because, like, what other options do I have? I mean, it's not working clearly, but, like, how else would I approach this, right? Like, by the time I even move, it's in my net. I guarantee you he's probably doing the same thing and he just ends up hitting it. But I don't know how. Yeah, this one seems impossible. I know he sent video proof, but, like, I'm having my doubts here, bro. So he's showing the fails, which is obviously good. We need to see... Like, how? How did he... What? I don't understand. He's boosting and jumping right away. Yeah, I mean, just... I have no idea. Dude, I swear I'm doing what he's doing. The fact that I haven't even been able to make contact with the ball, that is what is concerning me here. Like, you would think in 12 minutes of me kind of just doing the same motion he was doing in his video, that I'd at least be able to hit the ball. Maybe I wouldn't save it. Like, maybe the ball would just go back in the net. I had one last resort, which was to use the breakout because its hitbox was the longest in the game. So you would think I would get closer to hitting the ball with it, but that was not the case. So at this point, I decided to pause and go to the final pack before figuring out something later. All right, the final submission is from Arsenal Enjoyer. It says, tough vid. Good luck with this. Let's do it. So this one is going to be a shooting pack. I'm so glad to see that after all these insanely difficult save packs. It looks like we're gonna have to do some sort of half flip to get there. Here's the nice thing about a shooting pack, right? Here's the nice thing about this compared to a save. Once it hits 0 seconds, you just keep the ball up. So there you go. So this is how he did it. I mean, you know what? Let me also do it the legit way just real quick. Okay, so do a quick half flip. Just get around it. That should be in. There we go. I mean, that took me like maybe 20 seconds. So we're down to three that I've already done, but we got to figure out who the winner is going to be. All right, guys, I've decided who's going to be winning this $100. There were a lot of great submissions, but obviously there were 3 that had me really stumped. And I hate how it has to come down to this, but I am going to be disqualifying 2 of them right now because I am on a time constraint right now and I do need to get this video out for you guys, but also there were a couple rules that weren't totally followed. So the first pack that I will be disqualifying is the one from Musty Dew. This was simply because he didn't send video proof of him completing the pack. Although I did mention in the Discord that it was optional, I did clearly say that if the training pack was so difficult to where it could be impossible, then I would just skip it. Now, obviously, I still include it in the video, but it won't end up being eligible for the prize. Now, the other 2 packs did actually have video proof of them being completed, but I'm going to be eliminating the one by Curious for this reason right here. This was 12 hours after he had sent the video, and I'm not accusing him of this, but you can always go back to edit your training pack slightly to make it impossible. And looking back, I definitely should have specified this in the rules, but I feel like it should be implied that if you are going to send a video of you completing the shot, then you just shouldn't really touch the pack after that, just because it does look a little bit suspicious. But that means the winner of the $100 is going to be Frey. Not only did Frey follow all the rules, but it was anyways the most skill-based out of all the submissions, so I think it was the most deserved regardless. So congrats to Frey. If I sent him the money, I'll show that on the screen real quick. But this actually wasn't the first time I've speedran training packs like this. I actually participated in a $10,000 speedrun tournament, and I did a lot better than I thought I would. So if you want to see that video, that's on the screen right now, as well as some.
Hey gamer, today Squishy and I are going to complete the hardest challenge in Rocket League. We basically are trying to win a game in every Rocket League game mode,
Aquele
from
hoje.
Top Shot to
Quer
Sprint
mostrar
to
você pro
Boost.
seu teste. Né, velho? A gente já tá viajando. Pá, pá.